Hi everyone, this is Mindy Eggen, and today I am here to walk you through the August 2024 club kits from Spellbinders. As I walk through each of the clubs, I'm also going to share with you an inspiration card that I created, which you can see the process for these cards over on the Spellbinders YouTube channel. Before I get started, I also want to let you know if you're not familiar, you can sign up for the Deluxe Caboodle, which means you get all of these clubs at a discounted price. Plus, when you become a club member, regardless of it's the Caboodle or any other club, you get early access to releases. So it's really beneficial to sign up for clubs. I want to show you how I store my clubs each month. And I actually got this tip from Yanis Makula. So I have these zipper pouch bags and they are a mesh bag. They're pretty good size and it holds all of my items for the clubs that month. So I do have all of the clubs, the embossing folders, all of the dies, and I keep them all in this zipper pouch bag along with any extra pieces that I use. So the first club I want to share with you is the Stitched Colorful Palette. This one is really cute and creative because it creates a watercolor palette. So you can see there are numerous dies where you can die cut it out. There is also a paintbrush. There is kind of the well where your watercolor would go. And part of that is the area where you would stitch. You also have some stitching on the paintbrush itself and then the ends for the paintbrush. So that's a look at the entire set. And then here is a card that I created. And of course, I did a rainbow of colors and I did some silver metallic thread. What I want to point out to you here is my thread on the paintbrush is crooked. And the reason that happened is when I glued that black topper piece on, I did not hold my thread down very well and it wasn't very tight. So it kind of got a little loose and a little wonky looking, but I was not going to change it because I had put a lot of hard work into the card. So I'm okay with my thread being wonky there. This one is the clear stamp and die of the month called Colorful Expressions Blossoms. It has a beautiful blossoms in there, and these are a decent size to color in, whether you want to use alcohol markers or watercoloring. And there is a die that you can get with this. You can either sign up for the clear stamp of the month, which is this one, or you can get it as the stamp and die. There's actually another die that cuts out the smaller sentiments, and you're going to see that here in a minute. I kind of lost it in my bag at first. Now, for my card, I did some ink blending. So I ink blended over the top of the image instead of coloring over it, and then die cut that out. So you can see it's also die cutting that frame. And then I used the hello sentiment. I have my friend that I trimmed out, and I added it to a panel that I embossed. And I believe that one is the embossing folder of the month, which we are going to take a look at in just a moment. This one is the 3D embossing folder of the month, and it's called Floral Expressions. Absolutely gorgeous embossing folder. And I played around with this a little bit before I settled on my final card design. First, I did some ink blending. So I ink blended a background and then I applied white ink to the inside of my embossing folder. That's where you see those lighter areas. This is a beautiful color combination with that white ink over the top. This one has more of a rainbow feel to it. And then what I ended up going with was taking some dark cardstock and then I applied a darker ink. I kind of did some ink blending over there. I did a darker ink application. And then I went over the flower or the embossed areas with some white pigment ink. And like I said, you can see the process for this particular card over on the Spellbinders YouTube channel for August 2024 for the 3D embossing folder of the month. I finished it off with a frame and the hello from the clear stamp and die of the month for August 2024. And as I was putting these away, I stumbled upon the small die that goes with the clear stamp and die of the month to cut out the smaller sentiments. Now, this is the embossing folder of the month, hand-drawn lines. So kind of wonky. I like that wonky look. This is the card I showed you earlier where I did it on just a white cardstock for more of a subtle textured background. And the card I actually did for this folder has it more on this kind of craft colored cardstock, and it reminded me of a trellis. Now, I used it with this large flower, and that came off of the large die of the month called Colorful Expressions Blooms. beautiful, large, gorgeous bloom. There's some smaller flowers on there and the leaves. I love that color combination of kind of these different teals and shades of green. And we roll right into the small die of the month, which we have all of these amazing sentiments. So this is called Colorful Expressions Sentiments. I did a bunch of die cutting ahead of time because I wasn't sure what sentiment I was going to use, but I love how we have that shadow layer there, and it's just a really good size font and beautiful scripty font. Now I'm going to roll right into the colorful bold splatters. So this is the Betterpress of the month for August 2024. It also comes with this registration template. So these are going to create a splattered background, and all you need to do is line this up with the outline that is on your registration template. Can't remember the exact name for it, but it's like a transparency that you put on your Betterpress. I will link a video up here or down below in the video description on how to use these transparencies, but you can do a couple different ones at once. You just line it up. There's like two outlines in pink, one in black, maybe a couple outlines in blue, and you just match it up like a puzzle piece to create that splattered background. Now, I got a little creative on this one. I didn't quite follow it the way it was meant to, but that's kind of the fun of creating. I just kind of did my own thing, overlapped the colors a little bit. Next, we have the Glimmer of the month, and I think this one might be my favorite. It's called Colorful Splash, and it's just this really large splash, kind of wavy splash, I want to call it. You also get a few sentiments that you can foil. In the glimmer foil, you also get a roll of glimmer foil, and it happens to be rainbow, which just worked perfectly with this. So I just foiled the background, added a sentiment. That's all you need to do. It is so easy to use. I did experiment a little bit by doing this on a black cardstock, which is absolutely striking. And then another one that I did is a card I created using matte gold glimmer foil. And it's kind of more, I would say, of a subtle background using the matte gold. And then I added the wax seal of the month on the top. So we're going to go right into that. This is called Bold Hello. It is rectangle shape. You can see how the letters are spread out throughout that rectangle. And I do have a few different ones here. On my card project, I used a gold metallic pen, but on these ones I placed out, I used a silver metallic pen and went over those letters to highlight them. In the Wax Seal of the Month Club, you also get a bag of wax beads. This one happens to be a mix of pinks, reds, and also a gold. I really like how this is a general kind of all occasion sentiment, and honestly, doing the wax seals is just very relaxing. Now we have the stencil of the month. This one is really pretty. I think this one is about 5 layers to it. This is Colorful Expressions Garden. So it's going to create this beautiful garden of flowers. It is labeled in the top right hand corner what number or what layer it is. So here was kind of my starting point when I was just experimenting. Really like how it looked in purples. So I added a dark purple card front or base to it. And then here I have a sentiment from the clear stamp and die of the month. I place that over the top of vellum. I'm trying to tilt that in light so you can see that vellum. And it is very pretty to have that vellum. It kind of diffuses the background just a little bit. Now that I've walked through all of the clubs for August 2024, I'm going to just place these back in my zipper pouch, and I do have it labeled so I know what month this belongs to, and I can keep them all organized with all of my extra background and pieces. If you're interested in any of those clubs, you have from until now, the time of this video, until August 27th to sign up and receive any of the August 2024 clubs or the deluxe caboodle. All of my links will be down below in the video description and over on my blog as well, and I will be posting pictures of my card projects on the blog too. So thank you so much for joining me today, and I will see you all again real soon.